Exploring our metaverse is kinda awesome, right? Here you can hear from folks who work on the daily to build immersive experiences like this. Get inspired for how customer experiences like these can boost your brand. It's time to listen to Sabina Novruzova, co-founder SheNFT Exhibition. Let's take some time to hear why we need more women in Web3.
Hey there, my name is Sabina and greetings from Amsterdam. My topic today is why Web3 needs more women and what are the best first steps to get into the industry. For your reference, my background is in economics and business, not tech. However, I have been in startups for around 6 years already, in ad tech, education tech, and digital services. My own journey with Web3 started around 1.5 years ago, and I've been mesmerized with opportunities ever since. I'm now co-organizing SheNFT, which is an offline NFT exhibition aimed at women empowerment that will happen here in Amsterdam late summer. That's just a stepping stone towards creating an actual community of women in Web3. Now, as you can tell, I do not really have any tech experience or specific knowledge. And that's the first stereotype that I want to break about getting into the industry, as that's the one that I hear to this day from many women who not only want to get into Web3 but into tech. Now, first of all, I don't need to remind you that the thought that men are better at development or at coding is merely a myth. Of course, if you want to, you can learn to code, you can become a great Metaverse game developer or blockchain security engineer or smart contract developer if that's what inspires you. For me, though, that's not necessarily the case. I know that for many of you, that's not the case either. Let's move on. There is a big chunk of art-related jobs, Metaverse game designers or NFT creators. As someone who had to go through dozens of creators, finding those female ones, I can say the gender balance there is lacking big time. Majority of those OpenSea NFT project hits are male-led. And the ones that are actually female-led and get some exposure only get a portion of exposure they should actually have. So that's a different discussion, that's a different challenge, but the point is that there is a lot of space to grow in the artistic, creative part of Web3. And now my personal favorite is you take the job that you already do and you simply adapt it to Web3 realities. So think Metaverse business developers, brand managers, NFT project social media managers, marketeers, of course, because for any Web3 project, marketing is much more important than any tech, honestly. And of course, community managers. A good community manager can easily make 6, maybe 7 figures. And I have some good news. There is a pattern proving that women are in fact better at building lasting, valuable relationships, and they might be better in seeing the science behind community members, behind people's behavior. So that's of course super useful for anyone who wants to become a community manager. Now I want to make a smooth transition on what is the best first step in getting into Web3 industry, and that is community. Now, Web3 communities are quite different from your usual business one, or at least that's what I have observed. Web3 is relatively new, of course, so there are no 100% experts in the industry. Everyone is learning, willing to learn, willing to share their knowledge. Everyone is very open-minded. So as the industry is fresh, there are a lot of untapped opportunities and there's a place for everyone. So you usually would see very warm and welcoming environment instead of a competitive and harsh one. And of course, anyone can benefit from a good supporting community, but women maybe just a bit more. And the reason for that is, yes, as women, we do experience similar doubts, similar struggles at similar points in our life and work. I think it's around 75% of women on executive positions who admit that they have experienced imposter syndrome and FOMO and other challenges. Now, that's no surprise, to be honest, because we don't really have role models in the tech world or in the Web3 world. Of course, I personally enjoy reading about Elon Musk or Richard Branson or Vitalik Buterin, but there are no role models to me. There are no role models to any woman. Their journey does not resemble mine. Now that I think about it, there's just a handful of women in Web3 or women in tech whose journey can actually resemble mine. And, women just don't get enough exposure. However, I know for a fact that there are thousands of women who might be a few steps ahead of me, few steps behind me, maybe at the same stage as I am right now at my career in life. And it is extremely vital for us to connect, to learn from each other, and to support each other. I can imagine, receiving an advice from already established, successful CEO, or giving advice to, let's say, a sales and business development intern, or share my challenges with people who are at the same stage, let's say Web3 community builders. Of course, don't get me wrong, you're welcome to give advice and to receive advice from people of any background, of any gender, age, experience. But that's the key. The key is to have that true diversity and make sure that everyone's voice is heard. And we're not there yet. I can say that as a matter of fact. However, as we are trying to build that safe space for everyone, no matter gender, age, or experience, you can already start building this community around yourself, by yourself. We'll summarize that in the final tips. The first one being pick what you love doing and try to adapt that to Web3 realities instead of just thinking Web3 straight up tech jobs. Number two, maybe to help with number one, find relevant people, connect with them, and ask for a specific advice. You will benefit much more from someone who is just a few steps ahead of you. So if you're just starting, maybe talk to someone on a medium position. You don't really need an advice from like a CEO or a head of department as of now. The best way to do that would probably be LinkedIn. So make sure your profile is prepared and you have some personal branding activity going on. You can also search for relevant Discord communities or even use matchmaking tools as Lunch Club. That's a very useful one. Then number three, third tip would be attend as many events as you can, preferably online ones. I know offline ones can get very pricey, and that's a separate challenge of affordability of education. That's a separate discussion. So perhaps focus on online ones, perhaps focus on getting as much information as you can, not only from people, but from all of the resources that there are right now, and there are a lot. And number four, one of the most important ones, of course, don't be afraid to experiment, to test, do not give up, but be mindful about it. It will not help if you just drown in FOMO and imposter syndrome while watching others' success. So just know that everyone's journey is unique. Now at that, good luck, and feel free to connect with me, to chat with me. I will always be happy to help and support.